We also have former track and field athlete Ashwini Nachappa also now joining us on the broadcast to understand how does she see the protest that is coming in from the wrestlers and whether these allegations is something that has been a reality but never spoken by many. Ma'am, we really appreciate you taking out the time and joining us here on CNN News 18. I want to first begin by understanding wrestlers have been out on the streets for almost a week now, this after they were protesting in February as well. How do you see the allegations and the protest?
It's extremely unfortunate what has been happening in the last 3 months. I mean, this is not something that's just come off. It's, you see, it's the last 3 months that they have been asking for justice. It's a matter that is extremely, extremely sensitive. And to get such a raw deal from all quarters is surprising. I just wish more and more sportsperson come forward and speak up for this, because these are all very, very high profile athletes. And what do they get, just sitting on the streets and having a dharna? So definitely there is something that has triggered this. There's something that has transpired. I don't know to the extent of what they're saying, because everything seems, the absolute deafening silence from everybody is quite shocking, in fact.
And if you look at the allegations that have been made, they're very serious in nature. They amount from sexual harassment to mental torture to abuse of power as well. One of the tweets that was put out by Vinesh Fogart was very heartbreaking. The tweet said, "We've gone from the podium to the footpath." I want to understand, as a former athlete, how is this going to have an impact as far as the mental as well as physical well-being of all these wrestlers?
Today the whole world is talking about mental health and how we should, address these issues. Our nation itself, our Honorable Prime Minister himself talks about mental health. And, this is the pandemic that is going to unveil into the young people. And yet here we are allowing them to go through this kind of mental torture. It's unacceptable. Sumo motu cognizance can be taken by the courts, by the women and child welfare in matters such as this. What is more surprising is that they're unable to file a FIR. I mean, I'm not privy to the entire, what has happened. But what we see on television, what we hear in debates, why can't an FIR be filed? Why should there be an investigation before an FIR? So these are things that leaves a common man to speculate, what the hell is happening? And I think at such distressing times, athletes need everybody's support, especially the sporting fraternity. It's very unfortunate that Usha made a statement like, it's indiscipline. This has been happening. The sexual assault has been happening. It's nothing new. It is the first time that high-profile athletes have come up. It's happened in the very own state of Kerala, in the Sports Authority of India. It's happened in many other centers. We read about it all the time. So this cannot be treated as indiscipline.
I'll come to that comment of PT Usha in just a bit, but today, in fact, there has been some movement as far as the demands of the wrestlers are concerned, because the Delhi police has said that they will be filing an FIR. Just going back to what you said a short while ago, you said cases or allegations like these are not new. So when you were an athlete as well, did you also face allegations like these, or did your co-athletes also face something similar?
Not that I have come across, nor have I been subjected to that. But I did head a committee, a parliamentary, this thing set up by the parliamentary delegates. It was a committee to look into the suicide of the children in the Sai Center in Kerala. And I was a chairman of it, which also had Gopi Chand in it. And we traveled around the country and we put up the report. It's in the public domain. What needs to be done, how capacity building needs to be done, how children should be treated. It's all there in public domain. So, this must be about 10 years back. So I'm saying these things have been happening, and it's happened even after this.
So you're saying allegations, or this is an unfortunate reality that everybody knows, but nobody really wants to take any action. Going back to the comment that has been made by PT Usha, who's gone on to say that these protests put the athletes in a very bad light. They show Indian sports also in a bad light. Do you think the rationale is correct? Is this indiscipline or is this just a fight for the wrestlers' rights?
See, for me, what is more worrying is why would parents want their children out in sport? For me, that is more worrying. It is, it's easy to sit on the other side of the fence and comment. But what these kids have gone through must have been a torture themselves. And you're fighting against very powerful men. So I am saying, why is there silence from the committee that has set up? Why is there silence from everybody? Let the report come out. Even for these athletes, let them bring it out. Who's done what? Let it shame the people if they have done it. If you have the proof, just come out in the open. It's far too long they waited.
The counter here that's coming by many is that, one, why did the wrestlers wait too long? And secondly, why couldn't they just file an FIR earlier?
See, I feel I met Vinesh Phogat in a function in Mumbai, and I think they were not guided well. They don't know the legalities of it and how to go about it. They all thought they'd get together and, since nobody was listening to them and they're very powerful people in the federation, they thought that this is the best way to go forward.
So you feel they were possibly not guided well, they didn't get the kind of support they had anticipated for. I also want to understand that today, when these wrestlers are still out protesting and they want to continue protesting, is there also a real threat of them not being picked up for international championships? Is that a threat, do you think, that wrestlers already know?
The system is only for the powerful. It's great when they win medals, these powerful people want to take credit for it. But when at times of distress, there is nobody who's going to support them. And in fact, I feel sad that the sports fraternity don't come forward. There's hardly a few of us who've spoken up. I saw Sania Mirza's tweet today, Abhinav Bindra's, but who are the people who are coming forward and talking other than 3 or 4 of us?
Ma'am, always a pleasure speaking to you. Ashwini Nachappa, thank you so much for taking our time and joining us here on CNN News 18.